After Chase Sexton battled Eli Tomac toe-to-toe in the 2022 outdoor season, then won his first major title, the Supercross Championship, in 2023, it appeared a new king was ascended. The Sexton era seemed inevitable. Then came Jet, and all the thunder was stolen. And now, the tables have turned again. At the first round of the outdoor season, Jet Lawrence rounded out his 24-0 record to equal legends Ricky Carmichael and James Stewart.
And Sexton down the stretch, but now it's inside again. Deja vu at Fox Raceway. Jet Lawrence goes 1-1 again at the season opener.
He screwed the pooch in the very first lap at the very next round. The victim of youthful confidence and exuberance.
Now he's going to fill this track out, make sure that those...
Jet! Jet is down! Down hard on the downhill! And not getting up quickly! Now he's either stuck under the bike or shaken up. It's not the bike. He is shaken.
No, he took a big hit.
Yet still bounced back from that violent crash to win the next 3 overalls.
Up and get the lead, he does!
Yeah, he's laboring right now. You can tell by his body position. He's lost that aggressiveness. And yeah, I think that shoulder's bothering him a lot more than he put off.
This race will not be over. You already see Jet fighting back right away.
You mean that line right there? Same one he got the lead back from him before, and he does it again. There it is. Sexton still digging, but running out of time.
And then was undone again in an innocuous and undocumented practice crash. And now, Sexton finishes the 2024 outdoor campaign with 10 overall podiums, 13 wins, and the remainder of the overall victories available, 7, after the not-so-defending champion exited the series. Jet's largest asset might be that he doesn't think too hard about anything, for all outward appearances. It ain't like I know the kid, and God knows I'm at best a barroom psychologist. But yeah, I don't think he's stewing over Sexton's success in his own absence. I imagine if he does think about it, he just thinks, my mate Chase has never really beaten me straight up. And then maybe cruises to the Claremont Sonic for a limeade slushie in his rolls, without ever thinking about it again that day. Sexton, meanwhile, is by all appearances grinding, riding, training, stretching, eating all the right proteins, working on getting a leg up on the kid while he still can. Both are gifted physical specimens, and both possess prodigious talent. One of them is the fastest rider in the country, and probably the world. On the eve of the second ever SMX playoff, which one will it be? Chase? Or Jet? Although there's only been one SMX event held in Concord, North Carolina, there is a considerable history of racing in the area. First, Charlotte Motor Speedway. At the metaphorical and physical center of Days of Thunder and all it represents, just ever so north of Charlotte, lies the hub of stock car racing. Charlotte is said to be the banking center of the U.S., but Concord is most certainly the primary home of NASCAR teams, workshops, and fabrication. Motorheads through and through. Charlotte Motor Speedway was designed and built in 1959 by NASCAR Hall of Fame inductee O. Bruton Smith. The late Curtis Turner, one of stock car racing's earliest stars, and another Hall of Fame inductee, served as Smith's primary business partner. The circuit opened in 1960 and has been a mainstay of the NASCAR series ever since. In addition to the 1.5-mile quad oval, the Charlotte Motor Speedway complex grew to include a 2.25-mile road course and a 0.6-mile karting layout in the Speedway's infield, a 1/4 mile of asphalt utilizing part of the Speedway's front stretch and pit road, and a 1/5 mile oval located outside Turn 3 of the Super Speedway. In May of 2000, the dirt track at Charlotte, a state-of-the-art 4/10 mile clay oval, was completed just across the road from the Speedway. And in 2008, construction of the adjacent SMX dragway was completed. The state-of-the-art complex has been praised as the finest drag racing facility in the world by both fans and competitors alike. The first time Supercross came to the Tar Heel State was in arguably the best season of stadium racing ever, in 1990. And in this case, instead of a massive football or baseball cathedral, the series stopped in the relatively tight confines of Charlotte Memorial Stadium. Located on the campus of Central Piedmont Community College, the small facility was packed with the redneck masses to cheer on their hometown hero, Damon Bradshaw.
We're just about set to go. This should be a good one.
Well, it should, Larry. It's the hometown advantage for Damon Bradshaw. We didn't see him in the points graphic by virtue of the injury that kept him out of a couple of races earlier in the year. But you can bet that with all these Charlottonians looking on tonight, you're going to see a lot of Damon Bradshaw up front. We're underway.
I would not talk much about that, but boy, are you right. And there is Bradshaw. Whoa, he caught himself a wheelie coming down that long straightaway. Took it all the way to the wall. He came out of it all right. Jeff Ward is the leader. That looks like Matasevich right behind him on the inside. It is Matasevich. Whoa, Matasevich.
Area fans got even more than they expected, as Bradshaw engaged and came out on top in a nearly race-long battle with reigning Supercross champ Jeff Stanton. The two traded the lead and a bit of paint several times during the bump-and-run conflict. And the 22,700 fans on hand sounded like a crowd 10 times that size as Damon took a victory lap and stopped to salute his fans. It was a storybook tale when Bradshaw, who was just 17 at the time, has called it the best win of his career.
If there was one, I had no idea this race was coming to a close.
I don't think it flew, and I wonder if Stanton knew that he was coming to the checkered flag, and that might have been a factor for LaRocco. In any case, it made no difference in terms of the finish order up front because Damon Bradshaw had this one won. That checkered flag is all his. It's now being displayed to the rest of the field, but this place is going crazy for Damon Bradshaw.
Damon Bradshaw is about as happy as anyone I have ever seen.
This place is up for grabs, Larry. They are so thrilled to see their hometown hero win on his hometown racetrack.
I've seen him win races since he was just a mini bike rider, but I've never seen him like this. Look at the crowd. Unbelievable. Damon Bradshaw. He's the winner. Boy, is he happy. Throws the gloves out to the crowd. He's just standing in front of the crowd, just taking the cheers. Bradshaw is pumped.
Tell you what, Larry, the cheers of this crowd are as painful to the ears of Jeff Stanton as they are pleasant to the ears of this kid. Stanton got whipped tonight. He got whipped by a youngster, and the youngster's fans are now paying him tribute. This is great. Give a listen.
Oh, he's not through yet. Look at this. He's going to take another victory lap with a checkered flag. A well-deserved lap, I might add.
This kid will always remember tonight, the night he won the big race, the first ever Supercross in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Let's hear from Bradshaw.
It feels really good to win here in front of my hometown, the first Supercross in Charlotte, and I can say I won it. I had to work hard tonight, and I've had to work all year. Me and Jeff had some contact out there, but it was really good racing. He put good passes on me, and I did the same to him. And I think it made it more interesting for the fans and make you all want to come back next year.
The series continued to frequent Memorial Stadium through 1995, then relocated to the infield of the massive Speedway in 1996, with a track layout reminiscent of Daytona, but much more fun to ride, with traditional Supercross obstacles built from red clay instead of beach sand. Jeremy McGrath, who had taken the victories in 1993 and 1995 at the old stadium, won the first race at the Speedway in his nearly perfect Supercross campaign. His 13th win in a row, before Jeff Emig broke the streak the very next week in St. Louis.
Signboard sideways, let's see what happens.
Okay, and they start to rev up now. Can Jeremy get a good start in the muck that we saw Marty Reed in? He stays pretty straight. It's Jeremy McGrath out in front, cuts off Mike Brown. Larry Ward is also there, number 6. Mike Brown, number 9, though, as Jeremy looks back to Brown and just takes off like a rocket down the straightaway.
Well, here we go again. You know, Jeremy, the guy has no flaws. He killed him in the qualifier, got a great start here in the main event, so if he makes a mistake, which it's very rare that he does, that's when we're going to see the race. And you look at Jeremy McGrath, he's dotted all of his I's and crossed all of his T's. He's doing everything right. He got the whole shot. He had his helmet prepped in case he got a bad start. He had the good tear-offs and roll-offs, plus the rag in the side of his pants. So he did everything right, just like he's done every race this year.
I was watching TV, just watching ESPN Sports Center. You don't see motocross on Sports Center very often. All of a sudden, Jeremy McGrath's on there winning Tampa. And because of his victories, and, you know, he's really brought a lot of attention to the streak. And he's, you know, the other riders may not like the fact that he's winning the majority or all the races, really, but it's elevated the whole sport, really, and everyone's benefiting from it.
Yeah, there's talks about him, you know, getting on Letterman and different shows like that. So what he's doing will do nothing but raise motocross.
It was at the same track a year later that the 5th consecutive championship was well and truly lost, with Yamaha's Kevin Windham taking his first ever Premier Class win while still a full-time 125 rider.
Another outstanding Supercross crowd here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We've had record crowds almost every event this year. As we go into this title chase with Emig just a few points, a couple of points ahead of Jeremy McGrath, Jeff Emig doesn't look like the rider that got him the 11 or 19 point lead at one time.
You know, the time is now for Jeff Emig. He came out on fire like after the 3rd race of the year, but in these last 3 races, he's hit a sandbar. He's got some problems.
Yeah, and Jeremy McGrath has just been getting stronger and stronger. He knows what it's like to dominate a series, but switching bikes, it's not that the Suzuki was a worse bike, it's a different bike. The clutch reacts different, the power band's different, suspension, everything.
Taking a look at the Suzuki point standings, Emig with a rather precarious 2-point lead on McGrath. Then there's also a battle between Lusk and Ward for 3rd. As we come back, the 32nd board is up. Davey Coombs.
I think you're going to see a lot of things happen here in the first turn. It's going to be who gets out cleanly and who's left behind. We've seen it happen all night, and the card is sideways.
Could we have a different winner? We've had 6 different winners this year. Could we have a new points leader when this is over? Emig and McGrath. McGrath gets across the line, but look at number 7, Kevin Windham. Windham shoots out of there like out of a cannon.
Yeah, Jeremy McGrath took Jeff Emig way deep into the hay bales and ended up screwing both of them up. I think Jeremy got into that first turn, and he didn't want to get pushed out like he did in the heat, so he went a little too deep.
That was a disaster for Jeff Emig. He went from 2nd on the outside to about 15th.
The fireworks, in case you want to know about the bombs going off, it's fireworks here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway on our first lap. Kevin Windham. Boy, we have to go way back until we find a Jeff Emig.
Right, you're going to really see Jeff Emig's merit here. He's going to have to fight for this one because we saw Jeremy McGrath just cut through the field in the heat race. Now he's right in the same position he was in the heat, so look for him to go forward, but you're going to have to see Jeff Emig push really hard.
Emig in 14th place. He's come back before. We'll see if he has it here tonight.
We saw him mess up a shift off the starting gate at Houston and went from dead last to first, but this is not a Houston-type track.
What about this Kevin Windham? If he wins, it could be his very first 250 Supercross victory.
Well, we watched him dominate the heat race.
Jeremy McGrath gets the clean bar-to-bar action now with Albertine.
I see Emig right now. He's only picked up 2 spots on that lap. He's only up to 12. He's getting ready to make a move on one of the Chaparral guys, but he's got a long way to go before he gets in the top 3, let alone before he gets up to Jeremy McGrath.
Emig has moved up to 9th place.
Yeah, he actually is just getting ready to make a move on Phil Lawrence for 8th, and then after that, he's got a long way to go before he gets to Bradshaw and Ryan Hughes, and that's not even in the top 5 yet.
Emig leading by only 2 points over Jeremy McGrath inside. The battle is on now, but right now, Kevin Windham is out in front. Here is a replay, though, in the battle for 2nd place. It's Jeremy McGrath on the right, Ezra Lusk on the left. Wheel to wheel. Not even a scratch of plastic, though, and now Ezra Lusk is kind of playing it like he did last week. not let Jeremy get too far away, but he's not showing him any wheels.
I think right now what Emig might want to think about doing, he's going to keep moving forward, obviously, but he might want to focus on Albertine, the fourth place rider, cut his losses there. He'll still be within a couple points. He will lose the points lead, but at least going the last 2 rounds will still be close.
As we check our leader, number 7, Kevin Windham. He's got a huge lead right now.
Yeah, Kevin is just running really strong.
On the stopwatch time, let's get an interval right now and see if we can pick out between number 1 and number 2, Jeremy McGrath in second spot.
You know,
here's Jeremy.
When the season started, Art, could you have ever imagined there'd be 7 main event winners in the 250 series?
Okay, down to Marty.
Yeah, when he came by, he was motioning something about being wrong with the bike. I'm standing here with Wyatt Seals. He's on the radio with Roger DeCosta. He can't talk to me right now. They're trying to figure out what's wrong also, but there is definitely something wrong with Jeremy Suzuki.
He's got a flat tire.
Looks like he might have the flat tire. Jeremy McGrath, oh, what a break this would be. Yes, the rear tire.
Yeah, Jeremy McGrath has got a rear flat tire.
Well, it's a fairly straight track. If it were the front tire, it'd be impossible.
Yeah, but with this high-speed track, as much as you're accelerating to jump triples and doubles and through the whoop-de-doos.
That's right, lots of jumps.
Yeah, you're going to throw that bike sideways. So we're going to test his merit, but that's the great thing about Supercross.
There's a lot of time left, too. That thing might come off the rim lock, and he's going to have some real problems.
7 laps remaining for number 1, Jeremy McGrath. Can he hold on? As Emig has got to be inspired once he sees the pit board and see what kind of time he's picking up on Jeremy McGrath.
Yeah, we're down here with Wyatt Seals. Wyatt, looks like the rear tire.
Yeah, it's definitely flat. I guess it happened back here, back on the backside, at the other end here at the left. So, I don't know, he's just got to do the best he can. Hopefully, I mean, we're coming up with 5 laps to go, and pros coming. God, I hope we can stay ahead of him.
The next battle will be Emig versus McGrath, as we see Greg Albertine now moving up a spot into 3rd place.
I mean, you can't imagine the breath of fresh air that Jeff Emig has right now when he comes around and he sees on his chalkboard Jeremy flat tire. I mean, that's just like a breath of oxygen. And he's just going to, right now, he's just staying his same consistent Jeffro, and he's just going right after him.
What a gigantic momentum shift this might turn out to be. He's not past him yet, and it's not to say that something's not going to happen to Emig, but wow, this is totally unexpected.
Well, Emig's down to a couple seconds. It's not going to be, I'll bet he has him through this next section of whoops because Jeremy cannot accelerate, can't make the jumps like Jeff can.
A few seconds behind them, we got Ryan Hughes and Larry Ward coming up too. Right there, we see Emig go by. Jeremy just salvaged the points lead, Art.
That's right. Emig making his move. Emig started in 14th and has now moved 10 spots up. And number 3, number 1, it's Jeff Emig. Here comes Ryan Hughes against Jeremy McGrath with the flat rear tire.
If you watch, Jeremy McGrath's right wheel kicks to the right side every time he goes off a jump because the tire's just not staying on the rim.
Emig picked up 2 points when he passed McGrath. The game on +4. Hughes goes out, it's +6. At that point, Jeff Emig controls his own destiny in the title chase. McGrath can win the last 2 races. If Emig gets second, he gets the title.
Look out as Jeremy McGrath's challenge on Jeff Emig seeping away with only 2 full races after this one remaining. Here's the horseshoe. Coming up the checkered flag. A Yamaha 1-2. That's a fact. Here's Kevin Windham. His first 250 Supercross victory.
McGrath effectively lost his championship when the flat tire relegated him to a 7th place. Even on a Wyatt Seals tuned Suzuki with an ill-fitted throttle cable, Jeremy would later lose that title by a mere 15 points. One more race was held at the Speedway in 1998, with another Yamaha-mounted 125 West Coast racer taking the victory. The then 32-year-old John Dowd's first Supercross win on a muddy, messy, rain-soaked track. But though I was there for those races at the Speedway in the late 90s, it was the race I witnessed there in 2017 that I find the most memorable. Another young rider from the Tar Heel State, Cooper Webb, had emerged as a top rider by the time motocross racing came back to Concord in the form of a United States Grand Prix. The race would be held at the dirt track next door to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Riding for Star Racing Yamaha, Webb had a sensational MX2 showdown with Dutch visitor Jeffrey Hurlings.
To Cooper Webb. Hurlings was then in third with Seawer fourth. Halfway through the race, and Faulkner fell from the lead. Cooper Webb got held up behind him, and that was enough of an advantage for Hurlings to run alongside the American and take over the lead on lap 10. And from there, Jeffrey Hurlings controlled the race. He eventually pulled out a gap of about 4 seconds over Cooper Webb, with Faulkner just falling by the wayside, but was good enough to be third. And that win in moto number 1 for Jeffrey Hurlings not only gave him 25 points, but also his third MX2 world title. MX2 race 2, and this one under the lights of the Charlotte Motor Speedway dirt track. And it was the young MX2 debutant, Darian Sinai, who grabbed the foxhole shot from Austin Faulkner and Jeffrey Hurlings. Hurlings quickly passed Sinai to get himself in the second. Cooper Webb, meanwhile, who came around the first turn in 19th, quickly worked his way up into the top 10 and was soon challenging the top guys. He found his way down the inside of Jeremy Seawer to go third as early as lap 4. Then he had a clear track between himself and Jeffrey Hurlings, and eventually, after the short battle between the new world champion and Cooper Webb found his way into second place with about 6 laps to go. He then repeated the move on Austin Faulkner. The crowd here erupted in North Carolina for their homeboy, Cooper Webb. Faulkner hung on for second in what was a 1-2, with Webb edging out Faulkner. Hurlings coming home third, Covington fourth. The overall, though, belonged to Cooper Webb. Jeffrey Hurlings second, and Austin Faulkner was third. Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. But the Yamalube Star Racing Yamaha rider, Cooper Webb, was your overall winner this weekend from Jeffrey Hurlings' Red Bull KTM. And Hurlings there with the gold plate, cementing his third MX2 title.
It was everything I had, as I gave it everything. It was my last ever 250 race, and to do it like that is pretty spectacular. I got a terrible start and just kept coming, and was able to pass Jeffrey, and eventually got Austin, and was able to win in front of the hometown crowd. So just want to thank the Lord Jesus Christ, my mom and dad, the whole Star Racing Yamaha teams for a spectacular 250.
Sweeping both motos that day in the MXGP class was then Kawasaki mounted Eli Tomac.
The American had an easy route through to the lead. Eli Tomac was victorious in moto number 2. 2 American overall victories here this weekend. Eli Tomac winning the MXGP category.
As the season dawned, the new age of Jet continued. After that crash at Hangtown that could have ended his season, he came back to win 3 more rounds, only to depart the series with a practice injury in the year of the thumbs. Hey, I've had both of mine pinned back on. It's not as rare as you might think. But, post-injury, after Jet's departure, Sexton proved omnipotent. 7 overalls, 5 sweeps. Chase's subsequent championship would be looking pretty damned good, if not for Lawrence's perfect season a year ago. Not unlike Hunter's stellar rookie performance being likewise overshadowed by Jet's. The older Lawrence seldom failed to stand on the box at day's end. Had an average finish of 2.6, and his worst moto finish of the year was a 6th, in the final race of the day at the final race of the outdoor season. And so, we've gone full circle.
As was the heart rate to finish it off. He joins the Immortals, 22-0. He has done it, and most incredibly, he has done it as a rookie, which no one has ever done. And here's the celebration. On a 450 motocross title, and he throws the ghost ride. Well, that looks familiar.
Chase carries 25 points after the reset. Hunter, 22, and Jet, 16. Tomac and Ken Roxon, who both missed much of the season, enter with 11 and 9 points, respectively. Jason Anderson and Aaron Plessinger sit in the middle. As the points double from round to round, SMX could be anyone's game. But all eyes are going to be on Jet's return and how Chase responds. And hey, if you like this video, please like this video. Maybe we'll tap the subscribe button. Leave a comment if you know how to type. Meanwhile, thanks for watching this.